Good evening, I'm Esteban Quintero, and our Sports Sticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. The Patriot Rifle Conference Championships have been relocated from Oxford, Mississippi to the X-Count in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Nebraska Rifle team will head to the PRC Championships on February 7th and 8th, following their weekend of competition at home against Jacksonville State on January 31st and February 1st. In other Husker news, the sixth-ranked Nebraska wrestling team sitting at 9-5 on the season and 2-2 in Big Ten play. They head back on the road tonight for a top 10 Big Ten duel at number 1 Penn State. The Nittany Lions enter the duel unbeaten at 11-0 and 5-0 in Big Ten play. The duel is set to begin at 7 p.m. and will be televised on the Big Ten Network. A big game tonight in basketball, the Michigan Wolverines take on the Michigan State Spartans tonight, also at 7 o'clock. You can watch that on Fox 1. Our Sports Sticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the Retirement Compass. Visit stonebridgeiwm.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
48-44, Nebraska up by 4 points after the 2-point bank by Tyson with the Hoiberg up top, left side in the midcourt. Starts in, kicks out, left corner, Jamarcus, got it! Splash! Bang-a-rang on the road for Jamarcus Lawrence, and the Huskers are now up 51-44, their biggest lead of the game. 4-0 run by Minnesota on 2 free throws and that layup. Right sideline, Jamarcus Lawrence puts it on the floor a couple of times. Coming from the weak side is Sanford, puts it up and in. Money ball. Sanford with a 3. Boy, did they need that one.
Callahan dribbles across the foul line, right to left, bounces underneath. Claire Johnson hands it to Bojan. That's the assist of the game from Claire Johnson.
Terrific first pass and extra pass. Easiest score of the day for the Big Red.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Full 2 hours headed your way here tonight. We're going to have some fun guests coming here over the next couple of hours. We'll hear from the president, Dr. Jeff Gold, as it is time for another check-in with him. We'll talk some Husker Rifle as they are in action here over the weekend, and lots of hoops talks because it's a big weekend for both programs. Women hit the road, men here at home, and it's going to be a big one inside PBA on Sunday.
That's the hope, is that your basketball teams are around relevant conversations when you hit late January, February, and then of course March. And you don't only have that just with the men's team, but you have that with the women's team as well, having won back-to-back games. And they have a stretch of 2 consecutive games on the road against 2 top half of the league teams in Ohio State and Michigan. And then the sellout, every single seat for men's basketball has been sold from here until the end of the season for the home games. So it's just a really exciting time to follow winter sports here at Nebraska.
402-413-2400 is that number. We can open up the phone lines for you guys here over the next hour, as we'd love to hear from you. Text in as always. We love your text as well. We did get a response on your sarcasm last night, by the way. Watching the video, apparently you can tell, but it's over the audio that if you're just listening, maybe it's hard.
The sarcasm of me never wanting to talk to Searles again until football season?
Yes.
After joining the sideline slice yesterday?
Yes.
I said to kind of reprise the audience, I had said, I'm good on Searles until the start of the year. Some people thought I really don't like Searles, but I love Searles.
Sometimes
it's just how I am.
Sarcasm sometimes. If you're not watching, maybe you don't always come across if you don't know Kyle. But anyways, again, 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to be a part of the show here tonight. Because of this time of the year, we have so many coaches shows and ball games on the air. We don't get a lot of time to talk about things throughout the week. But we talked about the schedule, but it was on a night that we had a short, condensed show. We didn't get a chance to talk about how the football team released it and the artists that we got to see on display by Husker Football on their social media.
Saw the nice little paintings. I think they put together a graphic of all of all the different paintings.
Yes. Kyle Kinnanen won. because he was the one that had the Iowa with the X over it.
Red X.
And he also had the Ohio Bobcats, which he did very well.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do. But so they did all that from scratch?
Yes.
They just got a
listen,
they knew their
I think
teams.
Corey Barney could be a game show host.
That was the aim. He is the biggest personality, right, in the locker room, aside from maybe a few other guys. So he would assume he's the first ask when you're making that video is, who is our front standing guy that could be the host, who's loud, confident? I think Ja'Cory fits the bill there.
So it was fun. If you missed it, go check it out. But it was pretty funny. There's also going to be a pretty fun show on display on Sunday with Husker football with the annual dunk contest. This is the 3rd year running. And so we'll bring coverage of it. But we do not have the official roster. I've asked to see if they've released any names. I got to imagine Jeremiah Charles is going to be a part of it. He won it the first year they did it. And you weren't here, but he ran track and did track and field his first year. He competed at the Big Ten Championships, which they won the title. Came back the day, traveled back, came back, had no practice, just went out, dunked it, lit up the crowd, and then claimed the title that year. Last year, he got he tried to get pretty fancy on it, missed the dunk, but it was pretty jaw-dropping what he tried to do. Heinrich Hoiberg ended up winning. He's no longer eligible, but I got to imagine Jeremiah Charles will be coming back for his title this year.
He's got to be the favorite. Now, what is, you'd know better than me, what is the setup? Do we have judges that are set up?
It's the crowd. The crowd votes.
So the crowd, is it how loud the crowd is, the reaction?
Yeah, and it was pretty obvious last year. And they narrow it down from, I think, 5 to 2, and then you get 2.
I have not heard who the 5 dunkers are.
So I
assume
don't
Jeremiah's
know
one.
if they have it narrowed down, and I haven't even heard for sure if it's Jeremiah Charles. I just assume that he will be back for his
Maybe
title.
I'll have to send a text to get the inside info.
So I asked earlier today. I heard they were still trying to finalize.
Is Caleb
the list.
a dunker? Got to ask Damon. Caleb
I don't
Bennett?
know.
He's an athlete,
is he healthy
right?
though?
Yeah, I don't know. I know he was wearing a yellow penny during bowl season.
Some
he
of the things
played in the game.
Too is getting guys back healthy. Like Carter Nelson. Maybe he'd be a guy that would be involved in it.
I could see a Luke Lindenmeyer being able to jump pretty high.
Yeah.
Somebody, some of the guys in the running back room, like, can Mekhi Nelson get up? Can Isaiah Mosey's a smaller guy, but that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot if you can get up and have a crazy vertical.
Trying to remember who did it last year. McCullough did it. Deshaun McCullough. Emmett Johnson was in it.
Okay. See, he's a shorter guy, but he has a lot of explosiveness, and so that's why I'm wondering if a Mekhi Nelson or Isaiah Mosey maybe have the ups to be a part of that.
So we'll see. We'll see who's involved in it, but it's always fun. Like Quinn Clark.
Yeah, that's the best comp, right? We always say he's like a 3 on a court, like a small forward. So that'd be, yeah.
So again, that's coming up on Sunday, so that'll be fun. White out, just electric, big recruiting weekend, so should be really, really fun out there on Sunday. And should mention, too, big weekend for Nebraska women's basketball at Ohio State. They've got 2 in a row going into this one, so big one on the road. And want to make sure we get this out there, but our good friend Matt Coatney is going to be featured. Also, they've put together, Big Ten Network, a really cool feature on Matt Coatney, Jeff Greesh, so you can watch the women's basketball game on Sunday and then watch the special feature that's being put together on Matt Coatney and Jeff Greesh. The Journey is also working on one on Kent Pavelka. They've been following him around, but that's not coming out till later. But on Sunday, they've been working on this for a while with Kent or Jeff and Coatney.
Our announcers are becoming household
Quite the
celebrities.
stars.
They're celebs in Lincoln, right? Everybody knows Matt Coatney. Everyone knows Kent Pavelka. But nationally, they're becoming stars. So we'll have a Big Ten feature on Coat and Greesh, and then Kent in the season that he's had. Of course, now would be the year to do it with all the craziness that has happened around Nebraska basketball. But I'm happy to see that Coatney and Greesh are getting the representation and appreciation they deserve, because they've been doing it for a long time at a really high level. You just think of the sheer number, and Coatney would, of course, I know he probably has the answer, but the number of games that they have called together. So this is their 25th season together. So if you do the math, I haven't done the math, but it's a pretty large number.
So check out that feature. Make sure you tune in 7 o'clock on Big Ten Network. It should be a good one. They always do a great job. I remember when I was first getting started and I was doing more TV type stuff, and Tom Rinaldi is one of my biggest heroes and inspirations. I always had a goal of making people cry, in those types of stories.
Yeah.
But originally was thought Big Ten Network would be a great place to land because they do a really good job telling stories. They did a phenomenal job on the feature on Greg last year, and just such a good job on that. They really take their time and just are able to have the resources, but care a lot. And just they just do such a phenomenal job. I think they're some of the best in the biz in terms of just telling stories and the really the things that you want to know outside of just the X's and O's on the athletes and coaches and the support staff and just the really cool stories throughout the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, I remember watching the feature on Greg when you're doing research on the job and all that, and especially I've watched it a couple times, but I remember it was him gearing up for that first game against UTEP, if I remember correctly, at Memorial Stadium, and you were on it, Ben was on it, Amy was on it, and then of course Greg. And it was, me as not an overly emotional person. Like I was starting to get teared up just seeing Greg get teared up and talking in it, and you talking on it, and Ben. And so it was really, really well done. I think they also did air that on the Fox's college football show.
Tom Rinaldi ended up redoing it, and they ran it on Big Fox. Yeah,
but just to see, the work that Greg behind the scenes and the amount that went into him calling that first football game against UTEP at Memorial Stadium, and just the emotion around and the sense of pride of, this is what it meant to him to call the games, prep for the games, and how that took him out of everything that was going on, that gave him the necessary distraction during that time.
Absolutely. It was so well done. And so we're looking forward to seeing the final pieces on both Coatney and Greesh, and then Kent later on, I think maybe a month or so. I think it's around the Penn State game.
Yes. Yeah, it should be. I saw a clip of it on Twitter. They posted a clip about him talking about Don Fisher, who you want to talk about somebody who has been around. Indiana basketball has been good. It's a blue blood basketball program, but he's called Indiana football forever. And for him to have the playoff season last year and then to win a national championship, Don Fisher's a guy who's been doing it for half a century as the voice of Indiana, and he finally had an opportunity to call a national championship. And they played his call on ESPN after that interception that sort of sealed the deal. So it's a tight fraternity in the Big Ten when it comes to radio, guys.
We do have a phone call here on our Woodhouse Sports Nightly hotline. Mark is calling in, talk some hoops. Mark, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for calling in.
I just wanted to say I'm from Western, and the town, not the general vicinity.
Okay.
You guys were talking about the dunk contest. I don't remember. I've been a basketball fan or a Husker fan, everything all my life. But remember about 4 years ago, we didn't even have enough basketball players, and we had to get a couple of football players just to even have enough people to get on the court.
Yeah, that was before I got here, but I do remember that. And Ben and Greg have told that story before too. Yeah, that was crazy. Now look where we are.
We've come a long way in the last few years.
Although I do think Coach Hoiberg would like a little bit more depth, especially against Michigan.
Well, I know it. But we did a hell of a job.
Absolutely, for sure.
So, just wanted to comment on that. So, go Big Red.
Go Big Red. Thanks for the call in. Who was, I should know this, but I actually don't remember if you remember who it was, but it was, did you hear about that?
No, I never heard that story that it was
that. And Ben and Greg both have talked about that, but yeah, it was, they had to pull a couple football players to go. It was the conference tournament, I believe. Brant Banks. Noah Vedral. Yeah, Camden over there helping us out. But I forgot why that was needed.
Just
Injuries
lack of numbers left.
But yeah, so.
Yeah, that's it.
I think I saw a photo the other day of Brant Banks.
It's possible. It's funny. A lot of these names come up through nostalgia for some of these Nebraska basketball fans that have gone through some unique seasons. And you think of it now, what is this, Jess? Third consecutive 20-win season for Fred Hoiberg, and he got to 20 before the end of January this year. this certainly is its own different animal, but you now have had some consistency over the last 3 seasons, a couple of years ago going to an NCAA tournament. So giving Fred time has proven now over not just this season, this is its own deal, but the last 3 years you've found some consistency and footing in this league.
Yeah, and I think in terms of recruiting too, now you're able to go and have some conversations with some of the top recruits in the state and beyond. But I still think he's found the recipe of finding those veteran-type players that fit the system from the portal. He's going to I think, continue to try to stay old and, get some top talent, absolutely. But, try to stay older in the teams. I think he's found the recipe for success in that regard.
Well, that's the cheat code in college basketball, especially now. You want to stay old for as long as you possibly can because you want guys who have been through the ringer. That's what matters most. I would say, depth in guard play, staying healthy, but also having guys who have been through it, who have been through a lot of different adversities throughout their college careers, that know what it's like when seasons are on the line, when true pressure is on the line. And you could downplay the crown all you want, but playing that late into the year and playing games that are do or die, you either win, move on, lose, your season's over, and then at the end of it, you can win a trophy. There's something at the end of winning a tournament like that. So people want to downplay what the crown was. It's below the NIT, this, that, and the other. But I think that mattered. I think playing those games, winning those games mattered.
Yeah, absolutely did. You think about a guy like Kel Jacobson, how much he gained from that opportunity, and just figuring out how to survive in advance. And it was huge. And I think Coach Hoiberg at the time talked about it. There was kind of a long wait to get there, but when they got there, and it meant a lot to a guy like Juwan Gary, who absolutely loves this place, and it's so great to see him, how he supports his team on social media.
He's part of building it,
how
right?
proud he is. Yeah, I mean, he was part of that group that started to turn this thing around, and so it's pretty cool to see. Speaking of getting old in basketball,
yeah, I thought you were going to talk about me there for a second, but go ahead.
So, how about the news coming out here over the last couple of hours that Amari Bailey, that played at UCLA and was actually in the NBA, is making plans to return to college. The first player who has played in a regular season NBA game is going to push for college eligibility. How about that?
He's played 10 games in the NBA. This is the rabbit hole that the Charles Bediako situation and all different scenarios that we've been faced with in the last couple of years. But Bediako, he's the guy at Alabama who was issued a temporary restraining order by an Alabama judge who happened to be a Crimson Tide donor, by the way, who set a 10-day restraining order with the NCAA. Bediako was within that 5-year window, which allowed him to go back to college after he knew what it meant when he stepped away from college and went to the G League, that you were not most likely going to be able to go back to the NCAA. The temporary restraining order allowed him to play. He's already played against Tennessee. He'll play against Florida on Sunday. And now that opens the door for Bailey to now say, well, look at me. I'm going to fight for my NCAA eligibility. Probably went to the next level too early, but this is going to be the first time that we are now going to have somebody who's played in actual NBA games, not G League games, not a European who's playing overseas. This is actual NBA games, and at some point, this is going to be what's the old saying, the straw that broke the camel's back. I think the Bediako situation will force everybody to come together. And the NCAA, the problem is, doesn't have any power, right? They just get sued, and people set up restraining orders, and there's just ways to circumvent the NCAA, and they have not had a whole lot of power really since COVID.
Listen, also coming out over the last couple of hours, Matt Baker had this from the New York Times, that the College Sports Commission, which is the unit that they have tried to implement to try to govern, making sure that it is above board, all the NIL deals and all of that. Matt Baker has the report out that the College Sports Commission has opened an investigation into LSU over potential unreported NIL deals. And this is the first known program under inquiry from this new enforcement body. So it sounds like it's taken a while, but it sounds like they're trying to maybe start making some things happen. Now, what they will do with that, I don't know. But it looks like this new entity is trying to actually go try to enforce some of these rules.
Yeah, shout out Matt Baker, by the way. He covered the Gators, still covers the Gators for a long time down at Tampa Bay. But everyone's going to try and cheat, right? Like that's the whole deal with this. That we've tried to legitimize NIL through NIL Go. It seems like it's a process to get everybody on the same page. No matter what system that we adopt, it seems like people are going to try to work their way around it. And that's the case here, whether it's the unreported NIL deals and how everything works. Is there still going to be pay for play that's going to happen? Non-legitimate NIL deals, I think, are still a thing of the present and the future.
Yeah. And I can tell you, again, because LSU is a play-fly school, and that kind of came out about what they were offering quarterbacks, that kind of number, and being involved in the play-fly offering. And here at Nebraska, we are involved in that as well, and that we'll continue to keep you updated on what that will look like. I don't know a lot, but I do know that they are going above and beyond. Jonathan Bateman here, who is in-house, has been working his tail off to make sure that we are minding our P's and Q's and following the rules and making sure that the deals that are being put in place are above board and are going to be met and go through all of these different outlets, the NIL Go and all of that. But it's going to be crazy to see how they continue to try to implement or even investigate, and then, okay, what comes from these findings, and then how are teams punished from that?
Somebody has to be made an example of, right, at some point, where there's a significant punishment. Until we get to that point, there's going to be schools and athletic departments that are going to try to skirt the rules. So perhaps maybe this is a situation where they might come down on LSU hard if they can. Who knows? We'll
continue to follow it. All right, got to get to a break. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Fred Hoiberg. He met with the media today, gave an update on some of the injuries and potential of rink mass return. So we'll bring that to you next here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly on this Friday night show with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, gearing up for a big-time matchup inside Pinnacle Bank Arena on Sunday, 3 o'clock tip with Illinois. And Coach Hoiberg told me on the TV show this week that he said our biggest win of the season was at Illinois. Do you agree? Do you think that's bigger than Michigan State?
Considering it was a road game, I would say Illinois kind of kick-started a lot in Big Ten play. I would say Michigan State was looked at because we had more evidence that Nebraska was, quote-unquote, for real heading into the Michigan State game, and they were top 10 Michigan State at the time, and first, really, really big home game. But I would say Illinois is probably the biggest.
I think it also just in the road aspect of it, the buzzer beater aspect of it, the ranked aspect aside, I think it showed these guys, they knew they were pretty good. I think it showed them a lot internally and built a lot of confidence on, hey, we can go toe-to-toe with the big boys in this league.
I think there were a lot of house money games, early in the season because you're saying, okay, maybe we're really good, but are we elite? Like if we play hard at Illinois, lose by a couple possessions, okay, just considering where the program has been in the past, you don't expect to go to Illinois and win that game. And when you actually do, you start to open up your eyes a little bit. At that point when they beat Illinois, they just cracked the top 25. They were 23rd in the country. So now, after a win like that, you have a couple of bye games and then Michigan State, you start to dream a little bit when you go on the road and win a game against Illinois.
Well, listen, they were at full strength for the most part when they won that game at Illinois, but got a couple of guys that they were out without at Michigan, and had an update today from Coach Hoiberg on the status of Braden Frager, what his potential availability will be. Also, Rink Mast, who could not go at Michigan battling the flu, so he gave an update today at his press conference.
All right, I'll start out with a couple updates on the guys. First of all, with Rink, I think you guys know how much he wanted to play in that Michigan game. He gave himself every opportunity to be out there. He got out and stretched, got a couple shots up, and he had nothing in the tank. And I think I mentioned this after the game. He couldn't even keep water down, and the decision was made to not put him in that position. Got home that night, and the following day, so Wednesday, Rink had to go to the ER with severe dehydration. Was still battling it. Ended up getting home at about 2:30 in the morning after a couple bags of IV fluids. Felt better this morning and was able to come in, watch film with us, and then we took him through the very early non-contact portion of our practice. So we went through stations and got up and down a little bit in some non-contact drills, did our shooting drills, and then we got him off the floor. So if he responds well the rest of the day and has a good day tomorrow, we anticipate him being out there on Sunday, not knowing exactly what he's going to be able to give us. Obviously, he's lost a ton of weight. He's still very weak, but it was good to see him. It was good to see him back in the gym today. Oogie is out with the flu, not the same, whatever strain, I don't know what it is, but we're deciding to keep him home. Obviously, he's not playing right now, but we're doing everything we can to stop the spread of it. We're all battling some form of it, but Rink just, whatever he caught was nasty. As far as Braden, he was back on the floor today for a portion of the contact drills. He went through stations yesterday and did a little bit of work on the floor today. We got him out about halfway through, but it was good to get him some live reps. We'll see how he responds to it. When we initially saw the sprain, we thought it was going to be 2 to 4 weeks. We're 8 days out right now, so we'll see how he responds to the work that he did today, and then make a decision on Sunday based on how he does tomorrow. So those are the updates on our two guys.
I think what helps too is you do get that extra day.
Yes.
The fact that they're playing on Sunday is massive because you get an extra 24 hours.
And they played on Tuesday.
Exactly. So, and then you'll get more time after that because you won't play till Saturday against Rutgers. So they've gotten into a stretch where they've had, and Fred's pointed it out, 3 consecutive 2-day preps. Now you've had a longer prep for Illinois. Illinois played last night. They beat Washington, didn't play their best game. They've won 10 consecutive games. By the way, this Illinois team has not lost since Nebraska beat them. It's the only loss they have in conference play. They're perfect on the road. They're dealing with an injury to one of their guards. They have one of the best freshmen in the country. Defensively, they've really picked it up since that Nebraska game. It seems like they wanted to make sure Frager didn't get on the plane in these last 2 road trips because your ankle can swell up when you're sitting in a plane for a long amount of time. I would, if I was a betting man, I would say that both are going to get set to play.
Well, listen, I saw Frager at practice yesterday, and Coach, I'm not breaking any news here, but he seemed to be in good spirits. You saw Rink at the training table.
He seemed to be in good spirits.
And there's our training table drop for the night.
That's right. Ding.
I think for Rink, it's more so how maybe battling some weakness, right?
Yeah, energy-wise.
I don't think he's obviously beyond the sickness, I think, or he wouldn't be around the team because that's what Coach was saying. They were trying to avoid it spreading. But I think it's more so how will his legs be, being that he was so sick and lost weight, and how he's going to respond in that regard more than it is like, is he healthy in terms of he's not sick anymore. It's just how weak are you?
Yeah, and Fred had said it. He was in the ER yesterday, Rink, because he was that severely dehydrated that he needed multiple IVs just to be good enough to go home. I'm sure that is the most important thing over the next 48 hours is the hydration aspect for Rink. And then for Braden, we don't necessarily know the answer to this, but how did he react from the practices today? And then when they practice tomorrow, how does that ankle look after the practice tomorrow?
I'll tell you one thing. Those guys, both of them, will do everything they can to be out there on Sunday. So we will see how they progress over the next couple of days. Let's go ahead and get to a break. We've got a couple more clips we're going to play for you from Coach Hoiberg's press conference today. So let's go ahead and step aside for a break. More Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Husker fans, if you're looking for a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding and provides flexibility, your local insurance agency is hiring. No matter your skills or interests, there are opportunities for you in the insurance industry. Explore the many ways you can use your skills to protect your community by checking out the IIAN job board. Find your calling and be a part of an industry that makes a difference. Go to iian.org/careers today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. We're playing some clips for you from Coach Hoiberg's press conference earlier today and gave the update on the potential additions of Rink Mast and Braden Frager. We will see how that evolves over the next couple of days. But, hey, the last time these two teams met back in December 13th, 83-80, it was absolute thriller. Huge win for this program. Coach Hoiberg was asked today what he would take away from the last game, the first win over Illinois.
Yeah, it was a high-level game. Both teams had really good offensive performances. Illinois has gotten even better. They're 130 points per possession. I mean, it's incredible what they're doing from an offensive standpoint. Tyler Underwood has done a great job of putting those guys in a position of success. And, they just isolate different guys, and they go at you, and they keep running it until you stop it, which most people have not found a way to do. And, we've got the shooting now with Boswell out of the lineup and starting Davis. I thought all their guys, top to bottom, in that game against Washington last night, the biggest thing to me was a 24-4 advantage on second chance points. They got 19 second chance points on us in the first go-around, and that's the battle. You try to force them to take as many contested shots as you can and try to do everything you can to finish off possessions. But they had a 44% offensive rebound rate the first time we played, and somehow we found a way to win. You're not going to win against Illinois very often if you give them almost half of their possessions back after a miss.
Had a lot of success with their freshmen. Keaton Wagler is a guy you'll hear a lot about, but he had 46 the other night at Purdue. Purdue's hit a little bit of a slide. They've dropped in the ranking. They'll drop in the rankings a little bit more. I think they lost to Indiana the other night, but they had a road win, Illinois did, against Purdue, where he's dropped 46. He hit 9 threes. So he has a good chance of winning Big Ten Freshman of the Year. They've had a few other freshmen step up, and then Kylan Boswell is one of their big guards who's dealt with a hand injury and won't play in the game. So Illinois will be – it's interesting how it seems like they've gotten better even without Boswell in the lineup. They've now won 10 consecutive games. Didn't play their best game, like we said, the other night against Washington, but they still find ways to win, especially on the road. They've been, it's hard to win on the road, and they're 5-0 away from their home building this year.
Did you notice how when I tossed that clip, I said the first win over Illinois?
First win? I like that. Going for the sweep.
All right, so another clip we wanted to play for you, just first loss of the season, right? I have been fascinated by how this team has responded from what the conversations I have had and hearing, talking to Connor Sejan and just being out at practice the other day. And look, a lot of people wanted to praise them for what they did against Michigan, going toe-to-toe, shorthanded. But, hey, they are not satisfied. They're trying to stay even killed. But Coach Hoiberg was asked just how the team has responded coming off that first loss of the season.
In this business, after wins, you're harder on your team than you are after losses. But we had a very vocal film session, whatever it was, 2 days or yesterday when we got back in. And, there was, again, the mistakes that were made were the reason that we lost that game. I mean, Michigan gets a lot of credit for the way they play and how they wore us down, but we made a lot of mistakes in that game that we need to get better and improve on if we want to stay where we are. And it's, listen, the guys have prepared the same way. There's been no change in their approach, and we've really tried to keep it that way. Stay consistent, keep your emotions, don't ride the emotional roller coaster that you can. There was more positive publicity for our team after we lost than after any win we've had all year, which is crazy to me. We lost a game. We're going to learn from it. We're going to get better. We're going to grow. But, now we're going to see what we're made of. We're playing the team, Michigan State, Illinois are the three most physical teams in our league, and it's going to be a war on Sunday. And how we respond, how we go out and hit. If they hit us first, it's over. We're not going to out-jump them. We're not going to out-length them. We have to hit. We have to be the more physical team if we want a chance to win, and that's hard to do against Illinois.
Probably tell within the first 5 minutes, and I think home atmosphere, sellout, helps the home team when you're trying to get that juice, that energy, the physicality aspect of it, diving for 50-50 balls. I mean, this is a group. Illinois has more size in the interior, and they have more depth in the front court. But can Nebraska find a way to keep that rebounding margin somewhat respectable? And you look at the Michigan game and the rebounding margin there, they were minus 12. But big reason why you don't have Rink Mast, and they have the biggest front court in the Big Ten. So I think this is another game, too, where you're going to have to hit some outside shots. You remember in the first game they played against Illinois, Price Sanford had an incredible first half and finished with 32. They're going to need their stars to do what they do.
I'm going to be interested to see how they guard Price coming out to start this game. But you talked about the rebounding margin. Going back to that one, Michigan and Michigan State, where their games that they lost the rebounding battle, but they did really good at taking it away. They had steals, they forced turnovers, and so I think that's going to be a big key too. And Coach Hoiberg talked about that too, just continuing to get deflections. And so, when you're a little bit outmatched on the boards, you got to find other ways. And I think that's a way that this team can continue to overcome when they are going to be outsized, outmatched, maybe a little bit on the rebounding front. You can get some takeaways and some steals.
It's hard in this league when you give away second chance points and you don't have the opportunity for second chance points. They were -10 in the defensive rebound number against Michigan. So that's a number that's got to flip a little bit, equal out. We know Nebraska, for the most part, I mean, they've been pretty consistent at hitting shots, right? Like whether if it's one guy, two or three guys, they've been pretty consistent, especially at home, at hitting shots. And that's probably where it's going to start on the offensive end. How much energy do you pick up on the offensive end? Because we know defensively this team will be ready to go.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and get to a break. We are back to wrap up hour number 1 coming up next.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Final segment here of hour number 1 with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. We are about 10 minutes away from big-time wrestling matchup. Husker wrestling at number 1, Penn State. Kyle, your thoughts on this one?
Well, let's break it down. What weight class do you want to start? I can break them all down. I do know this: Penn State is very hard to beat.
Yes, they are.
They are. So did they win the national title last year?
Oh yeah.
They've won 2 and 3 in a row.
And they're the big-time favorite.
And they're undefeated this year,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And
they smoked Iowa.
We said it's a really tough stretch for Mark Manning's team.
Yep. So, but listen, I love the way they bounced back against Ohio State. I think they were really disappointed with the performance against Iowa on Friday night last week. And they came back, won 5 in a row to get back in it. And Ohio State's a really good team, too. So, number 2 in the country. So, they fought right there. Right there. You're maybe not getting pinned away from a tie in that one, and maybe one way, and again one different bout goes the other way, and it's a different outcome. So hopefully they took some confidence away from how they performed against Ohio State, but it's a tough one, and that atmosphere is crazy. But I saw Shane Sparks, friend of the program, was on here a week ago tonight, had Antrell Taylor's matchup tonight as one of his top ones to watch over the weekend. So he's got a big one tonight. I think it's top 5 in his, and so we'll see. It's a big opportunity, but we'll see. It starts here in about 10 minutes.
Life is a book of opportunities, and you just got to embrace each chapter, as I like to say. 1
week from tonight, we will not be on the air for Sports Nightly.
What?
Because you know who will be on the air?
Who?
For Sports Nightly? Or no, not for Sports Nightly, but in replace of Sports Nightly?
Who's that?
Huskers softball.
Oh, okay, I'll allow it. Nate Rohr?
Nate Rohr. Beyond the airwaves.
It was his birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday. Was it yesterday? I thought it was
2 days ago, yesterday.
But opening weekend, it's crazy. 1 week from tonight, UTSA Invitational, and it is no easing into this thing for Husker softball, as we've talked a lot about. Washington, Texas in 2 games on Friday, and that matchup with Texas we will have right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
I am excited. Now, do we know the streaming situation outside of we're going to mute it and listen to Nate, right? But do we have video streaming for
ESPN Plus?
ESPN Plus? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what they say, when it's UTSA Invitational time, you throw the records out the window. In this case, you throw them out the window because they're 0-0.
Yeah, so
Washington as well that same day. That'll be
yes.
So 1-6.
Washington's at 1, and then
that's 2 World Series-ish teams. Texas is defending national champion, and Washington's a consistent power when they were in the Pac-12, and then now in the Big Ten. So that's big league to start.
So we're excited to bring it to you because this is a team that's got a lot of expectations. It's a very complete team. They've added some key pieces that I think could push them over the edge to getting to that Women's College World Series. We will see. It's a long season, but they are starting off with a bang this weekend, or the opening weekend, a week from tonight, and then the next weekend also. You got LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, UCF, and Texas Tech in the second weekend, February 12th.
Those are all resume builders, but if you're Nebraska, you have a team that can win. You're going into every game with the expectation that you're going to win. I mean, you're prognosticated as a top 10 team. I think I saw today Michelle Smith, who's one of the top analysts, Olympian, saying that Nebraska is one of her teams to watch. So there is legitimate preseason hype outside of Lincoln nationally when it comes to Nebraska softball, and there should be because they have one of the greatest players on the face of the earth.
And 2 weeks from tonight, crazy.
Baseball.
Husker baseball.
Let's go. That'll be Ben and Nick will be out there in Arizona. I think they're playing in 2 different stadiums. They have Scottsdale and Mesa, but UConn will be the first game of the year on the 13th. We'll talk to Will Bolt. We'll have that conversation on Monday on the show. First time that I'll have a chance in this setting to talk to him. I've seen him at the training table. Ding.
2 in one night.
I know. We had to make up for the other night. We didn't say anything about the training table.
I know.
But I'm excited to talk to Coach. Everything I've heard from Ben and Nick, it's an easy team to travel with. It's kind of like a family-like atmosphere. So I'm excited to get on the road with them a little bit.
It is here. So
spring season, which means you're going to be hearing a lot less of us together on this show.
Yes.
Because between men's, women's basketball, hopefully having long seasons, softball, baseball, there's no place for us, so I'm just going to have to do my own show.
Coaches shows.
Coaches shows is the only way.
All the things. So, yeah. So 1 week from tonight, excited for Husker softball. Get it all going, and we'll bring it to you right here on the Huskers Radio Network. All right, that's going to do it for hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. Coming up next, going to have a couple fun guests joining us. We'll hear from Dr. Jeff Gold, president here at the University of Nebraska. Check in with him, all the latest going on here across all of the UNL systems. We're also going to talk some Husker Rifle coming up next hour with Emma Rhode, one of the most decorated athletes in program history. So they've got a big home match coming up starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. So we'll talk about that and some Husker football news that we need to catch up on. So all that coming up next here on Sports Nightly. Keep it here.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Good evening, I'm Esteban Quintero, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. The Patriot Rifle Conference Championships have been relocated from Oxford, Mississippi to the X-Count in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Nebraska rifle team will head to the PRSC Championships on February 7th and 8th, following their weekend of competition at home against Jacksonville State on January 31st and February 1st. In other Husker news, the 6th-ranked Nebraska wrestling team, sitting at 9-5 on the season and 2-2 in Big Ten play, they head back on the road tonight for a top 10 Big Ten duel at number 1 Penn State. The Nittany Lions enter the duel unbeaten at 11-0 and 5-0 in Big Ten play. The duel is just getting started here right now and will be televised on the Big Ten Network. Our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
48-44, Nebraska up by 4 points after the 2-point bank by Tyson with it to Hoiberg up top, left side in the midcourt. Starts in, kicks out, left corner, Jamarcus, got it! Splash! Bang-a-ring on the road for Jamarcus Lawrence, and the Huskers are now up 51-44, their biggest lead of the game. 4-0 run by Minnesota on 2 free throws and that layup. Right sideline, Jamarcus Lawrence puts it on the floor a couple of times. Coming from the weak side is Sanford, puts it up and in. Money ball. Sanford with a 3. Boy, did they need that one.
Callahan dribbles across the foul line, right to left, bounces underneath. Claire Johnson hands it to Bojan. That's the assist of the game from Claire Johnson.
Terrific first pass and extra pass. Easiest score of the day for the Big Red.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of Sports Nightly on this Friday night show. Trying to stay warm here inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Again, coming up here this hour, we're going to talk some Husker rifle. Hey, this team's really good, and they're at home this weekend. You talk about a team that compete for a national title. This is one of them. So we're going to hear from Emma Rhode. Her name is all over the record book, so we're going to hear from her coming up here in just a little bit. Also, it is time for another check-in with the president of the University of Nebraska system, Jeffrey Gold. So we'll check in with him here in just a few minutes as well. But did want to spend some time here, this segment, talking some football, because we have had some football news develop. We just haven't had a lot of time to chat about a lot of things because we've had games and coaches shows and all of the above. But Sierra Wright is making some noise in the circuit at the East-West Shrine Bowl, and he earned an invite to the Senior Bowl, and it sounds like he's going to be moving up draft boards. He's been all the rage here recently.
Yeah, and he's, if you talk to Damon throughout the year and just watching him play, he had to make somewhat of, he was position flexible for sure. He moved inside with the injury to Malcolm Hartzog and played nickel all year. And what Damon was saying all year, and sort of I echo just by watching it, is he's a guy that could play on Sundays. And this is your opportunity to prove that outside of the season, because you're going up against the elite of the elite that are draft eligible. And Sierra, from the looks of it, is showing out right now against top competition. And you think of Sierra from a leadership standpoint. Yeah. And I remember one instance this year trying to interview him for one of our football shows, and it was just impossible because he was out there quite literally for an hour after practice, and you have to sit and wait for Sierra to be done. Like, when practice is done, it's not done for Sierra, it's just getting started. So he's put in a lot of extra work with Addison Williams this year, and had a tremendous season coming over from, another year coming over from USC. So shout out to Sierra and doing some great things.
He is going to interview very, very well, too. He is one of the better interviews I've ever had throughout my career. He's so intelligent, obviously very charismatic, and I think, again, the more that guys that you have drafted, I think it's good for this program. But I think he's going to sell himself. He's getting the opportunities, so he'll be in the Senior Bowl. A lot of eyeballs there. But I think he'll continue to sell himself, and I think the way that he will carry himself, he's a guy that you want in your building. I think he's got a good shot to get himself drafted.
Yeah, he really does. And we talked so much about the success of the pass defense throughout the year, and a big part of that had to do, at least, pass coverage and limiting passing touchdowns. Whether it's the Andrew Marshalls of the world, the emergence of Donovan Jones, the veteran play from some of the safeties, and Sierra Wright. You can't say enough about what he was able to do, and what is a tough conference that has a lot of good quarterbacks. For the longest time, you don't necessarily think of the Big Ten as a conference that is littered with great quarterback play historically, but it's certainly that was the case this year. There's a lot of young quarterbacks, some transfer quarterbacks that are veteran guys, and Sierra was somebody who stood out all season long.
We've joked about the storylines going into spring football. That's another big one for me that I'm really intrigued by, because you're losing some guys that have played a lot of football back there, and Deshaun Singleton, Marquise Buford moves on, Sierra Wright, and I know it's been a group that we've talked a lot about the young talent in that room. We've seen some of those guys step in, but the leadership, the just amount of snaps that those guys have had, they're going to have to find some guys to fill those roles, and who steps up and takes a hold of those. Got to think McDougal is one of those guys, but it's going to be, I think that's another one of the storylines that's going to be fun to watch here this spring.
Yeah, they went out and they were really, there was an effort to bring in some guys that have played some ball at other places and bring them into the secondary. Shiggs from Towson, who's that safety spot. You mentioned McDougal, who has the experience in Orch's defensive system at San Diego State at that safety spot. Vic Evans from Florida International at more of a corner position. Donovan Jones, expect him to have a big role. And then guys that I feel like they're incredibly high on already, and also the fact you're going to lose Malcolm Hartzog too. He's in the transfer portal. Amari Sanders and Jeremiah Charles, I think, are two guys that, when it's all said and done, are going to become, one of those guys is going to become a starter from day one, I think. And then you're looking at a lot of snaps for Sanders and Charles. Jeremiah, I think he made a significant impact in special teams.
He did, yeah.
For sure. So all these guys have the size and length to play at this level. And then you added Donovan Jones, who, you threw him into the fire pretty quickly, and he was pretty darn good.
How about the freshman? You like him too. They're bringing in
Danny Odom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they really like him. He very well could make an impact early.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you're right, sort of forgot about, and we've been talking about him a lot when we went through signing day and talked about some of the impact players right away, because you don't necessarily think about bringing in somebody in your signing day class just because of the way college football is run now with transfer portals and more veteran-laden two-deeps, that you don't think a true freshman can come in and make an impact right away. I think with Danny Odom, his abilities, some places have him as a 5-star, right, coming out of Florida. He is a legit stud that I think I'm sure they want to put more size on him, being a true freshman once you enter in. But I think he is definitely a guy that is going to see a lot of run.
So another kind of newsworthy item that developed over the course of this week, and I know it's been talked about, but we just haven't chatted about it here. But Mac Markway has switched his position, and it is on the roster. He is listed as an edge on the official Huskers.com roster. How about that? I was kind of shocked by that. Coach Rule is one. He's from the start has been a guy that he can identify maybe where guys fit the best and where their best potential would be moving forward. But I'm kind of surprised that they decided to move Mac Markway over to the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, apparently Mac, he reached out to Coach Rule about a month or so ago about the opportunity to maybe switch positions, and his size is legitimate for somebody if you're going to put it at that spot, and it's certainly a spot of need for the Black Shirts. He had a lot of hype coming out as a tight end, but however you can find a way to be of impact. 6'4", 250 pounds. He is a physical guy. Now, the biggest thing for Mac Markway is can he stay healthy through fall camp? That is the first question that we'll have to have answered. But, in high school, a lot of these guys are playing two-way and are two-way stars at that level. Played a lot of defensive end in high school, too. So he has that the ability to get off the edge and has the experience, of course not at this level, but the experience at the high school level playing that defensive end spot. So edge could be a nice spot for him to settle in, and it's a position that can use more depth.
It's also a huge recruiting weekend for a couple sports.
Yeah.
So there's going to be lots of stars, potential stars in the building inside Pinnacle Bank Arena this weekend. You know, it's pretty cool that throughout the course of the last couple of years that, look, we hear the coaches of every sport talk about, you get them here, you get these potential athletes here on a football weekend. It's really, really hard for these athletes to say no to Nebraska if you get them here on a football Saturday. But now it's become the case now for a lot of these sports to bring them to Pinnacle Bank Arena and men's basketball games. And that atmosphere on Sunday is going to be absolutely electric. What a great day to be able to bring in some pretty highly sought after guys and show them what it could be like. The dunk contest is going to be going on at halftime, but it's a big recruiting weekend. I know men's basketball has going to have a couple guys in as well, I think. And so, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on what's going on here in Lincoln, I think, over the next couple of days.
Yeah, they're going to have the number one player in the state coming in from Damon School, Omaha West Side. So they're going to have a lot of 4 stars here, and that's what Coach Rule is. He certainly made a splash in high school recruiting, and what the expectation is for the 2027 class is massive. You know, the thought is they're going to be a top 6, hopefully a top 5 class nationally. When you talk about the high school signing class, a lot of effort has been put into that. So not just football, but basketball. I believe Ahmad Hudson, who's the 5-star 2-way or 2-sport player, I don't think he's going to make it. He had some sort of issue with because he's playing high school basketball now and he couldn't make it. And I know a lot of fans tried to read so much into that, but he will be back at some point. But that's another aspect of basketball being good. Not just it helps your basketball recruiting, but also you could, for football recruiting weekends, you can bring in some guys and just see how the environment is for and how the buzz is for a top 5 basketball team, because that same energy and passion, of course, transfers over to football.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard for guys to get in during the fall, or, you know, and some of these guys want to make the decision earlier, right, before they even are allowed to come on an official visit. And so you get a chance to experience it just a little bit with an absolutely rocking basketball crowd that you can only imagine, I'm sure, what that will be like running out in front of a Memorial Stadium. But it's a big selling piece now for other sports to be able to take them to basketball games and show them, hey, this is what it's about. And it's pretty cool now that you can utilize both, that, not just taken to football games to sell recruits, but now you take them to a basketball game, and it's pretty hard to say no to that too.
And it raises, I've said this a bunch with on this show and then on our basketball show, the floor has been raised now because of the success of this season. When you see a program, there's proof of concept this year that you can go out and Fred can, of course, create a winning culture, but now create a winning team and a winning environment. And Nebraska can be in a Final Four conversation for basketball. It's just a proof of concept for high school recruits, whatever the transfer portal may be. Like, they got a 6'8" forward that's coming here from Brazil that's, Texas and Michigan are trying to go after. But, hopefully you show them that this place, Nebraska, can be just like a Michigan or a Texas in basketball with the right players. That's how you bring them in.
Absolutely. All right, we got to get to a break here on Sports Nightly. Coming up next, it is time for our bi-monthly. We've got a couple check-ins every single month here coming up this spring with the University of Nebraska System President, Dr. Jeff Gold. So we're going to have that conversation next for you here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody and excited to welcome back into our studio the University of Nebraska System President, Dr. Jeff Gold, who continues to make some periodically appearances here with us on Sports Nightly as he keeps us updated on all the happenings across the University of Nebraska systems here in Nebraska. Thank you so much for coming back.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
Well, we've talked a lot about these Nebraska basketball programs. Wow, they've been so impressive. There's a lot of exciting sports teams that are either just getting their season started or going to be finishing soon. What excites you the most about some of these sports teams as we move into the winter and spring seasons here, full speed ahead?
Well, first and foremost, just incredible pride in the basketball program, and as we look forward to the remaining games in the season, I know there's a lot of tough competition that's actively ongoing. The competition within the conference doesn't get any easier. The Big Ten is the Big Ten, as we know, and whether it's on the gridiron or on the hardwood, the competition is really tough. But congratulations to Amy and to Fred, and of course, thanks to the team for all their really, really hard work. But of course, we're getting into baseball, softball in the not so distant future, which is very exciting to me as a longtime baseball fan. As the audience may know, I grew up in New York City, and I'm not to anybody's surprise, dyed in the wool. At least I used to be a Yankee fan. I mean, I used to save my nickels and dimes and get on the subway and take it up to the old Yankee Stadium, and really enjoy those days. Those may have been the heydays of the team, but now it's all about college sports for me, and watching these two programs get started. I'll tell you, I ran into one of our baseball players in an airport recently. He was coming back from a competition somewhere, and he recognized me and said hi, and we started to talk a little bit. And I'm sure he's representative of the total team, but he's just so committed to his sports, so committed to academics. He's coming back for the spring semester. And I think, Jess, that's really what it's about. These are student athletes who work really hard in the classroom. Graduation rates are, among the very best in the conference and tops in the NCAA, certainly within the A4 conferences, but also totally committed to their sport. And they know that dedication, that time management is everything. And of course, it pays off in the win-loss column.
You haven't told John Baylor you're a Yankees fan, have you? He's a big Red Sox guy.
I can tell you that for many years of my life, including currently, I defined the end of the baseball season by when the Red Sox are eliminated. So I will tell John that, and I'm sorry if he has a different view on the subject, but sorry about it.
You definitely should let him know. All right, well, sticking with the sports theme, just a huge announcement here at the University of Nebraska with the addition of another sport, another women's sport, a really up-and-coming, growing sport, going to be in the Olympics in flag football. Troy Dannon making the announcement a couple weeks ago, last week. How exciting is this announcement and to be able to add another sport here at Nebraska?
Well, it's always exciting to add a sport, but particularly this sport, which is another women's sport in a state that is so supportive of women's sports, is particularly exciting. I don't know if we're going to be the first or one of the first in the conference or across the entire NCAA, but as you mentioned, this will be in the Olympics, and it's very, I think, important for us to be able to offer this and to begin to play. And I think the first competitions will be in 2028.
Yep.
Would that be correct, Jess?
Yep, that is correct. And we don't do anything if we're not going to compete, right? So fully expect to have a team that's competitive, right?
Oh, you better believe it. The Husker spirit is alive and well, and I'm sure we will be extremely competitive in this, just as we are in every sport.
Got to be impressed with the way Troy Dannon's handled a lot of these decisions that he's making, and again, in college athletics where it's ever changing.
Well, I think that's an understatement of the year. The combination of all the changes that have occurred due to the NIL and the transfer portal and the revenue sharing, the changes that have occurred due to different sports having different regulations. Some of the referee decisions and the calls are complex as well. But I'll tell you this: Troy is just so thoughtful about these decisions. He loves the students and the athletics of this. He's obviously a very loyal fan. We actually sit together on the court very often, or together in the stands. We travel together to many different events. Obviously, he sits on so many different key committees, including, as you may know, the College Football Playoff Committee that makes all these, let's call them controversial decisions, who's in the CFPs. However, he's also a consummate businessman, and he understands what it takes to be proactive and appropriately responsive. So kudos for his leadership.
Great stuff. All right, well, the last time we talked, the Nebraska legislature had just reconvened for the start of the legislative season. What is the focus for the University of Nebraska over these next few months?
Well, as always, is to express value of the university and to say that, as Nebraska is going through this difficult budget period where, the price of corn and beans are not what we were used to, and that has impacted so many different families across the state. At a time that development of the workforce is critical to reskill and upskill many of the hard workers in the state of Nebraska. The work ethic that I have seen in our farmers and ranchers and the work ethic that I've seen in our small and large cities, whether it's in banking or insurance or in healthcare, in construction, in architecture, and so many different fields, is unbelievable. But now with the advent of more and more use of artificial intelligence, with the use of other types of technology that has really revolutionized precision agriculture, such as drones and robots and satellite imaging and things of that nature. And certainly in my former field in healthcare, technology is the name of the game in terms of imaging, diagnostics, and therapeutics. It's really important to have a great university system that can add skills, provide certificates and certification, provide badging where necessary for non-credit courses, but also to be sure that our high school graduates have access to cutting-edge coursework, to be sure that nobody graduates from the University of Nebraska without experience and expertise in the use of artificial intelligence and high technology, even if they will never use it. I was at a meeting not too long ago where one of the AI software leaders in the United States was speaking about the future role of AI in corporate America. And he was asked the question, is this going to cause a lot of job loss? And, he thought about the question for a minute and he said, Jeff, only for those that don't know how to use it. So whether it's in the field that we're talking about today, which is broadcast journalism, which is obviously key, or whether it's in healthcare, engineering, energy, agriculture, et cetera, it is going to continue to change the way we do things. Clearly, it will never replace the human touch. I am absolutely sure of that, because the creativity that people have, particularly when they work together, is unlimited. And no matter how hard AI works, it will only be a tool to supplement that creativity. But we have to embrace it as a tool, just like we embraced Wi-Fi and mobile devices and so many other things, and learn how to depend upon it, but learn how to put it to work for us.
Fascinating.
That's where our university comes in.
Yeah, fascinating. Well, President Gold, we officially have a new leader here on our Lincoln campus as interim chancellor. Kathy Ankerson started her role earlier this month. Can you share some of your thoughts on the transition and what's to come here on our Lincoln campus?
Well, having Kathy on board is very exciting. I've had the opportunity to do town hall meetings with her. She has been working with the senior leadership team on the Lincoln campus. She's been working with the deans and the faculty, as well as, of course, has welcomed the students back on their first official days of class during the fall semester. She put out a really thoughtful video and welcome message, I thought, to, begin the healing process. I mean, truthfully, we've been through a long, difficult semester or semesters. The budget cuts, as hard as they were, is going to take a lot of time to deal with as we unwind these programs and make sure that all of our students can complete their educational journey. There's no question that that'll take a matter of years to complete. But at the same time, there's a lot of healing that needs to occur, and I'm certainly well aware of that. Kathy is well aware of that. And the only way to do that is to reach out and interact with people and make sure that people feel well listened to and that they're responding to fully. And Kathy is the right person at the right time in the right place.
Well, last thing I got for you here today, we've heard a lot of the news the last few weeks about the partnership between the University of Nebraska and Nebraska Medicine. What does this partnership mean for the university and Nebraskans?
It is an opportunity that we never saw coming. It was about 18 months ago that our partner, Clarkson Regional Health Services up in Omaha, notified us that they were going to withdraw from their half ownership interests in Nebraska medicine, but once in a lifetime transformational opportunity so that we look like our peer institutions in the Big Ten and across the private sector, and at the same time preserve and protect the academic mission of Nebraska medicine. And what I mean by that is the state of Nebraska, and many surrounding states, of course, as well, depend upon the workforce that we educate and train, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, therapists, so many others who get their hands-on experience in the clinics and in the inpatient facilities of Nebraska medicine, which is, by the way, incredibly well run and incredibly well governed today. And the goal here of all of this transformation and all of the media attention, of course, that goes with it, is just to preserve and protect this in a sustainable way for the future.
Well, fantastic stuff as always. We always greatly appreciate your time here with us on Sports Nightly, and we'll look forward to checking back in with you again here coming up in February.
Till next time, and as always, go Big Red, right?
I love it. I love it. That is University of Nebraska System President Dr. Jeff Gold here with us on Sports Nightly. Got to step aside for a break. We got more coming up right after this.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody, and we talk a lot about some of these spring sports, the Olympic sports, and how competitive they are. They contribute a lot to those athletic director cup standings, and one of the best teams in the country in college rifle is right here in Lincoln. Nebraska Rifle left the fall the number one team in the country. The way that they do rankings in rifle, it goes by every week, and so but average aggregated score, one of the best teams in the country. They certainly are on pace to be able to compete for a national title here coming up this spring, but they are in action here coming up this weekend. You can check them out live here in Lincoln coming up tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. at the Nebraska Rifle Range. So wanted to preview that this weekend with one of the best rifle athletes this program has ever had. Her name is all over the program record books. I had a chance to sit down with Emma Rhode. So much to talk to you about. I'm so excited. You guys are, again, ranked, number one in the country in terms of overall average. Have big things as a team ahead. You are one of the top in the country as well. But senior season, how's it going for you so far?
It's going great. A lot of emotions, but it's just great to be back for another season at the University of Nebraska. So I can't complain much.
You guys had a great fall, record-breaking fall. We had Richard Clark back in December. How did you feel like that carried over? Because you guys got a little bit of a break, right? How did that carry over when you picked the season back up in January?
Well, at the end of December, we had a lot of conversations that, hey, we're the number one team, everything's going well, but that doesn't mean that we let our foot off the gas quite yet. We still have a lot of work to do. And from our perspective as a team, we haven't had that match quite yet where everything has clicked and gone perfectly. There's been a few matches where I know I could have gained a couple of points in places, and I know other girls felt the same way. So there's still a lot of work that we have to do, and I think there's going to be some big things coming for us in the end of spring. So
that's exciting. Okay, so again, people might not be as familiar with the sport, but when you talk about, because there's a lot of things you can do individually. I mean, we've had individual national champions, but when you talk about the team, how do you guys approach that? Because ultimately that's number one, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because rifle is such an individual sport. We're all competing by ourselves technically, but at the end of the day, what matters is our team score. So there's a lot of trust that goes into it, that I trust that my teammates are going to do what's best for their match, and they trust that I'm going to do what's best for my match, and we're going to work kind of together to get that big team score that we want.
Is it one of those things where, you feed off of each other, I'm sure, but is it competitive too, like in a healthy way?
I would say in a healthy way. There's definitely some competition that goes on between us as teammates, but it's never in a negative way. We all really push each other to do our best, and it works out well. It kind of keeps you on your toes, and yeah.
Yeah. What has it meant to you to be a captain of the program this year?
It's great. I mean, my freshman and sophomore year, I was under Cecilia Ossie as our captain, so to take over that position was great. I looked up to her so much, and to know that I'm filling that position and I get to be what she was for me, for my younger teammates, is a great feeling.
Oh, that's cool. Talk to us about Richard Clark. He's a young head coach, very decorated himself. What has he brought to the program? Why has he been so good at leading this program?
He's been great for this program. It's funny, he is very young. I shot next to him my freshman year at NCAA championships.
Wow.
But he's great. He's brought a lot of technical knowledge, so he's helped me a lot with my positions. And then he's also been really great at helping with my confidence and helping me to know that, hey, you are a great shooter and you can do great things. You just need to believe in yourself as much as Coach Kristen and I believe in you. So it's been great to work with him.
How'd you do against him when you were shooting next to him?
Not great. Not great, but it was only my freshman year, and NCAA championships is such a big stage. So to be there my freshman year was kind of like, what's going on? So, but it was fun.
Okay, so how did you get into the sport? I read that your grandpa had something to do with it.
Yes. Well, I grew up hunting, and then my grandfather, he lived in a tractor trailer. Not a tractor trailer, that's the truck. He lived in a trailer park, and we would sit on one end of his trailer, and he would draw a target out on a piece of cardboard, and I would shoot at it with his little BB gun. And then I would go, he had one of those extendable magnets, and we'd go to the end and pick them all up and reuse them. So
wow,
that's kind of how I started shooting. And then I did some shooting with FFA. And then I moved into more of what I'm doing now at a local rod and gun club. We had some friends who their kids shot, and I went with them to practice.
Wow.
So
how did you get to shooting BB guns with your grandpa to realize, hey, I could maybe do this at the college level, maybe even represent Team USA? Like, how did that evolve for you?
Well, I didn't know that precision rifle was a sport in college until I started at that rod and gun club, and I didn't know if it would be an option for me or not, but I just did my best and got to talk to a few coaches at some national competitions, and they brought me out on some visits, and then it started kind of sinking in where I was like, wow, I could be a college athlete, not only just like in college but at a D1 school like Nebraska. So crazy.
So from Pennsylvania, yes. Why did you choose Nebraska?
The people here are so kind, and the support within the athletic department and within the fan base is just crazy. And it's great to see as an athlete. It really keeps you going throughout the year. So
do you have a favorite sport that you like to watch outside of your own?
I do watch a lot of football.
Really?
I'm a big Eagles fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What have you thought about college football and coming to games here?
Oh my gosh, it's great. It's so much fun. I love going to games here. I never got to go to a college football game until I came here, and now I feel like I won't be able to go to another one because games here are just such an experience, and they're so fun to go to.
You know, we talk a lot about just the support for women's sports here at Nebraska, and you know, it in this day and age, a lot of times it can be about college football, but that's one of my favorite parts. I say that all the time about working here is the support. So what has that meant to be a student athlete here? How fortunate, I guess, how different, I guess, is it, and how rewarding is it to know that there is so much support for all the sports here?
It's really great. I mean, you look at other rifle programs, and then you look here and see all the resources that we get as athletes. And all the support that not that other teams don't have the support, but just here is 10 times better, in my opinion. I may be biased, but it's just great to be an athlete here and great to just be here in general. So
we've talked a couple different times that this sport is, while here it's an all women's roster in the sport, it is co-ed at a couple different places. Can you tell us about that and what that is like? And you guys are not, I mean, it's, hey, you go compete against the best no matter who it is, right?
Yeah, that's one of those super cool things about our sport is that we do compete shoulder to shoulder with men and women. Especially in college, there are a few teams that are co-ed. Here, we're an all-women's team. But it's just super cool. You get to see all different types of shooting, all different mentalities that go into shooting. So it's a really neat experience.
Okay, so you said FFA and 4-H, obviously really big around here. What else did you do in 4-H and FFA?
I showed dairy cows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I showed Holsteins for 3 or 4 years with a family friend. They let me take one of their cows and show. So I did that for quite a while.
Again, that is All-American Emma Rhode, the senior, and also potentially maybe an Olympian. She is one of those athletes that is going to be able to compete and maybe earn a spot for Team USA at the LA Olympics.
I'm just looking at the resume right now.
It's impressive. It takes
All-American.
you have to scroll several times.
All-American, Nebraska school record holder, team captain, everything that you could throw out there. But yeah, I mean, I love watching that in the Olympics, by the way. So
you
cool
should call play-by-play of that. What? Let's do a broadcast starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. They told me it's long. It's like 8 hours.
You think they have IP connection at the rifle range?
Saturday and Sunday. So tomorrow and Sunday, starting at 8 a.m. Let's go do play-by-play in color.
I could do some research tonight. And who's doing the play-by-play? Who's doing the color? I think
Bullseye is all I would know.
Bullseye. We do that. That's like our You Betcha or something like that. Bullseye. Yeah, I wouldn't know where to start, but I see it a lot in the Olympics. I love watching it in the Olympics, so maybe I should learn.
So you could listen to that full conversation. It's out now on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel, as well as a part of our Husker Women's Wednesday, which is powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power that podcast and all of Husker women's sports. But I told you, Kyle, I mean, that's one of those sports that, hey, they're right there. They've been number one, number two, basically since the start of the fall season, and they have high expectations to go compete for a national title. And I know Husker fans are proud of all those national titles. Husker Bowling, also one of those teams. But also when you start talking about those athletic director cup standings, and look, it's one we like to brag about, right? But that will absolutely contribute to those standings, those points. The higher you finish, the more it racks up.
Yeah, people like to brag on that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's important. But it's also important that we give the time to these other sports that it contributes to: rifle, swimming and diving, tennis, all these different things. And you mentioned bowling, that are so elite every single year, and that add to that final standings is important. Now, I did get this come through too. The Patriot Rifle Conference, which is what they're in the championship, was originally in Oxford, Mississippi. Actually got switched today to Fort Wayne, Indiana. So the Patriot Rifle Conference Championships are going to flip to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
There you go. Breaking news.
We broke news right on the
breaking rifle news.
That email
What can you not do?
That's correct.
Apparently portray your sarcasm over the air.
There's a lot of things I can't do. I actually have a list, I think, in my office.
All right, got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up the show next.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same: a wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at AppliedConnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Final couple minutes left for us here tonight on this Friday night edition. Again, reminder, coming up, we've got a doubleheader for both our hoops teams. Sunday at Ohio State for Nebraska women's basketball. 5 o'clock, Matt Coatney, Jeff Griesch on the call starting at 4:30 with the pregame show. And another reminder, we talked about it in the first hour, but in case you missed it, coming up on Sunday at 7 o'clock on Big Ten Network, On the Court is going to be a very special feature featuring our very own Matt Coatney.
Yes, I can actually read directly from the description.
Okay, there you go.
As we used to call it the TV guide, but we don't call that anymore. Hear from Husker Radio Network legends, Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch. So they're going to talk about their long time together. So they've been together 25 consecutive years. Coatney's been doing it a little bit longer.
27.
Coatney's been doing it total 27 years.
I asked him, we confirmed the other day with Nora, my shadow, the other night.
So Coat and Griesch have been doing it together. This is their, as you call it, a silver anniversary, 25th season together. So Big Ten Network, I think they filmed this a few months ago. Getting a chance to talk to them and talk about their journey doing Husker women's hoops. And we will see that 7 o'clock on the Big Ten Network. I love that they're going to get the deserved attention.
So all day hoops and Huskers Radio Network, sync up the TV, all the things. But Illinois, whiteout, one more time, whiteout, people. It's a whiteout. So 2 o'clock pregame show with Kent Pavelka and Jeff Smith for that one, leading into a 3 o'clock tip between Nebraska and Illinois. Then Ohio State women's basketball, Nebraska and Ohio State women, 5 o'clock, 4:30 pregame, and then stay tuned on the Big Ten Network at 7 o'clock for that special feature on Matt Coatney. Also want to get this on your radar. We've got a full 2 hours coming up on Monday. We'll have our Nebraska men's basketball hour. Also going to hear from Will Bolt as we get closer and closer to kicking off the baseball season. So you're going to chat with Coach Bolt on Monday.
Yeah, we'll have him in studio, get a chance. It's getting closer. February 13th is opening day. They'll be out in Arizona and follow that up. They'll be playing in Globe Life in Arlington, Texas. And they have a really, really tough schedule to start. A lot of newcomers, a difference to their weekend rotation. So there's a lot to get into.
And on Tuesday, I'm going to pump this up for a couple days now. National Girls and Women in Sports Day is coming up on Wednesday. We have a women's basketball game. So on Tuesday, we're going to have a special Sports Nightly. A lot of special guests, talk volleyball, golf, softball, basketball, and Dr. Susan Elza is also going to join me. So we're going to have a special women's show. Kyle, you're getting the boot on Tuesday.
You're kicking me out. Not the first time.
Basically, it's going to be your show Monday, my show Tuesday.
That's all right.
But it should be two fun shows coming up for you on Monday and Tuesday, 2 full hours, Monday and Tuesday.
Hopefully there's a lot of fun basketball talk on our basketball show, and I'm excited to talk baseball because it means warmth eventually is coming.
Eventually, hopefully.
Eventually.
Maybe when you travel, but anyways. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks to Camden Cone for helping us out here tonight. And again, enjoy basketball this weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday here on Sports Nightly.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your